Nearly 2 years ago in March 2020. By the way, how the fuck is March 2020 almost 2 years ago now? Jesus Christ. Anyway, during that time, I made a video about why I don't really care that much for the Smash Bros. Games. And in the time between then and now, has my opinion changed at all? Kinda, sorta. I am still not into the franchise for the reasons I laid out in that video. I am just not into fighting games. Simple as that. I'm way more of a single player campaign story type game person. I've really tried my damnedest to get into this game franchise though. So many people I talk to, both in real life and online, love the Smash Bros. Games. I remember back when I was in high school, someone would bring their Switch every day, and a lot of people, including people I talked to, would gather and play Smash Bros. Together. And I just kind of sat there and watched because I was never really into these games, but I really wanted to join in on the fun. So I tried to force myself to like these games. I tried playing them in my own time, and I just could not get into them. It's really just a case of wanting to try to fit in. I was forcing myself to get into something that I just wasn't into. And the reason I made that video nearly 2 years ago was all those memories of just sitting there in awkward silence watching my friends play Smash Bros. Together, having a fun time. And every time I would join in, I would just embarrass myself because I'm not good at these games, because I'm not into them. So naturally, games I don't care for, I'm not going to be good at. But then again, I just suck at video games in general. Anyway, I would play these games a couple of times at parties also. Still couldn't get into them, but for whatever reason, after I made that video some months later, I played Smash Bros. Melee with some cousins, and I actually kind of had a good time. And it's not like this was the first time ever I played Melee or anything. I remember even back when I was in elementary school, I would play Melee with some friends because one of my friends had a GameCube and we'd come over to his house sometimes and play Melee together. And even back then, I wasn't that into it. But for whatever reason, it just clicked when I played with my cousin. I started to actually kind of understand the appeal. Now, these are still games I'm not going to play all the time in my free time or anything. I still don't really care for them that much, but I might still get Melee for myself. If for nothing else, it would be a nice addition to my growing GameCube collection. So all in all, my opinions on these games haven't changed all that much since I made the video, but I can understand more these days why people love the Smash Bros. Games so much, because this is not just a simple fighting franchise. The Smash Bros. Games at this point are a fucking phenomenon. All of these tournaments, conventions, many friendships I'm sure were made thanks to Smash Bros. Games. Like, these are games that I may not like that much, but I definitely respect the franchise for its impact on the gaming industry and the community. These are games that I never really hated per se, but just never could really get into. That's all. And that's a perfect segue into the controversy that this video started. Or controversy in quotes. It was barely like anything channel shattering or anything of the sort. There was a pretty lengthy comment left under the video that pretty much deconstructed everything I said and even gave me tips on how to improve on the Smash Bros. Games. And all I wrote in reply was boo-hoo. I still chuckle quite a bit at that, but quite a few people in the replies at the time got really upset at me for that. Like, there were probably 6 people. At this point, I blocked quite a few of the people in the replies in the time since, but there were like 6 or so people getting really upset over me just replying boo-hoo to this person, and I can kind of understand where the anger comes from. In fact, I do understand fully where the anger comes from. If you want some semblance of a justification for that reply, it's the fact that the person let off the comment by saying I clickbaited people by titling the video "The Super Smash Bros. Games Suck," when in the video I didn't really trash the games. All I said, at worst, was, these games are not for me and I don't really care for them. But, I mean, quite a few of the videos where I proclaim something sucks in the title really just boil down to me just not caring about the thing I'm talking about. Prime example being Kiss. Yeah, sure, I yelled and screamed in that video, but that was mainly just for exaggeration and entertainment purposes. In reality, Kiss is a band that I just don't care for, a band that I can never understand why for the life of me is so goddamn popular, but again, at the end of the day, I just simply don't care for them. Same instance here, except I wasn't screaming my head off in the original video. But anyways, I just really didn't like the clickbait accusation, so that prompted me to dismiss everything else they said in the comment. In fact, I didn't read past that point when I first read that comment, and I just wrote a very dismissive reply that I regretted pretty soon after I posted. I was actually planning on deleting that and posting a proper reply, but then that person replied back to me, and then like 7 other people replied back to me in anger, and then I was like, I'll leave that comment up because it pisses people off. I was just coming off the days of me being an edgy douchebag. I still had a little bit of that in me, okay? But all in all, yeah, that was stupid of me to do. But my biggest contention with that video is me honing in on the fan base a lot. I fell into the trap of not liking something because it has a bad fan base, which, in reality, pretty much anything has a bad fan base, or at least just a few bad apples that are a bad representation of a fan base as a whole. I used to make videos about this all the time, making videos about the Undertale fan base, or the FNAF fan base, or any other fan base that's known for having a lot of toxic people within them. You know, I'd make these videos just putting a microscope on all of these toxic people and further contributing to the negative stigma surrounding certain fan bases that I regret doing these days, by the way. But I still did that in this video, and I spent quite a few minutes talking about the fan base, and I'm not a big fan of the Smash fan base, don't get me wrong, but there are plenty of decent people within it, I'm sure. I just decided to really focus on the bad individuals within the fan base when, in reality, I'm sure that's not even an accurate representation of the fan base as a whole. I still really don't like how certain fans hound Sakurai, though, every time a character is added that they don't like, or they hound him for this character to be added, for that character to be added, when he has overworked himself to the point where he has severely compromised his health. That's what really ticked me off and prompted me to talk a lot about the fan base in that video. Here's this guy who pours his heart and soul into these games, who overworks himself to the point where he could literally die, and yet people are just ungrateful bastards and always constantly harass them because there's a character they don't like in the game, or there's a character that they feel should be added in the game but is still not in the game. But still, I am sure these are a minority of people within the fan base, and most people in the fan base are not like this. And this doesn't mean you're not allowed to criticize the Smash Bros. Games or anything, just so long as it's within reason and the poor health of the developer is taken into consideration. The more I think about it, the more I feel that the original video should have just been a rant on the more toxic individuals within the Smash Bros. Community, because I have quite a bit to say about those kinds of people. Maybe that'll be something I'll make in the future, who knows. But for now, I have some regrets when it comes to that video, but overall my opinions have not changed that much since making it, and I don't outright hate that video. Anyway, that's all I have to say. Bye-bye.